Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton have been the center of attention in the wrestling world for the last couple of weeks, and not just because of what happened in that ring when it comes to a wrestling match. No, it was ever since their shoot promo on SmackDown. The fans have been locked in, and the drama has not stopped since. More and more reports have come out confirming that things went completely off script and it got real. So in today's video, we're gonna break it all down. The promo that derailed live on TV, the backstage fallout, the heat on both people, the original plan that both women scrapped, and why, despite all the chaos, I think Charlotte Flair might actually be right, and honestly, so might Tiffany Stratton. Let me explain. Alright, so let's set the scene. It was SmackDown and the tensions were high between Charlotte and Tiffany. What was supposed to be a standard promo segment quickly spiraled into an unscripted verbal showdown. Charlotte Flair, who's supposed to be the seasoned veteran, took the first swing by mocking Tiffany and her voice. This was the move that immediately signaled that we were off the script. Not one to back down, Tiffany fired back with a personal jab referencing Charlotte's history with her marriages, stating that she was 0-3 in that department. And it only got worse when Charlotte claimed that Tiffany's real-life boyfriend, Ludwig Kaiser, had been sliding into her DMs. Kaiser immediately shut this down with a simple tweet. The exchange was clearly intense, it was personal, and it was completely unscripted, leaving the fans buzzing and the WWE scrambling to edit out the segment for official releases. And these are some of the reports we got afterwards on Twitter. The first one comes from Fightful Select. It says that Tiffany Stratton's line about Charlotte Flair's marriage and Flair's line about Ludwig Kaiser were not cleared for their segment last week on SmackDown. There was heat on both Stratton and Flair for the situation, which was referred to as a wreck. And then we got an update from the Wrestling Observer newsletter saying this: someone in WWE says that Charlotte Flair has f***ed up the whole program with Tiffany Stratton and has been trying to rattle her. One person in the company said Charlotte has been trying to rattle Tiffany. Standard stuff. Cena does it, Randy does it, young talent coming up. You put up a little heat on them as a test to get them to either sink or swim. Well, Charlotte has fucked this whole program by not adjusting to being a heel because she was originally planned to be the babyface in this feud. Last night, that Friday, she got stuck. That Chicago crowd ate her up because they can see she's doing more than business. She's trying to embarrass Tiffany. And those are the reports clearly showing us that both women got heat. If anything, Charlotte got a little bit more heat than Tiffany Stratton, and fans have been talking about this ever since. A lot of videos have come out, and a lot of people are clicking onto those videos, and that's exactly why I think both Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton are right. They went off script, and that gave life to this feud. When Charlotte came back and won the Royal Rumble, nobody really wanted to see this match. In fact, people were more than furious and wanted anything but this. This feud was on its way to becoming one of those WrestleMania matches that absolutely nobody remembers 6 months later. But now, Charlotte going off script changed everything. It made people care. And then Tiffany Stratton standing up for herself, also going off script, made fans respect her more than ever before. It showed that she wasn't just another Barbie clone. She fired back, held her ground, and made herself feel real. I honestly think that they both made the right decision because now the storyline feels authentic, it has weight, and has importance because before it didn't. Also, if you look at the original promo plans, it kind of looked like ass. These were the original plans according to Wrestle Votes. Charlotte Flair was supposed to say the comparisons to Tiffany Stratton were always annoying, but now they pissed her off. She'd say it might be flattering for Tiffany, but it's an insult to the queen, and at WrestleMania she's taking back what's hers. Tiffany would then interrupt, questioning why Charlotte thinks she still runs the division after barely wrestling in 3 years. She'd tell her, "You call yourself a queen, but you don't have a kingdom." Charlotte would then fire back, saying that the only reason Tiffany's champ is because the Money in the Bank briefcase was a ski lift to the top, and now Princess Tiffany's afraid of heights. You see, that's terrible. And Tiffany's final line was, "Congrats on climbing back up, but falling 13 times doesn't sound like a real champion, and at WrestleMania, you are falling again." I don't know about you guys, but that just seems extremely boring. It seems bland, and I don't think a single soul would have cared about this feud if that is how it went down. that segment would have bombed. I care more about this now with the real heat they added, with the personal lives being dragged into this. It is uncomfortable, but that's what makes it real and feels so special. Look, was it professional? No. It was not. It was completely unprofessional and probably should not have happened, but it did. And since it did happen, I gotta say I love it. I think the WWE should embrace this. They gotta build around it, lean into it, because unlike the CM Punk and Young Bucks situation in AEW, I think this could make a lot of money if they pivot and lean into this. Another example of that is CM Punk and Drew McIntyre taking real life stuff, bringing it into the feud, and making it feel so special and important and real. Also, that's why I think that Drew McIntyre should have faced LA Knight, because after the Royal Rumble, Drew was pissed off with LA Knight, and that is a missed opportunity that they didn't go ahead with that feud. But when it comes down to Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, I think they gotta make sure that they use this on screen and continue to actually make it feel real. So now that begs the question, who should walk out of WrestleMania as the women's champion? Should Tiffany Stratton retain the title after showing us that she's not just a pretty face with catchphrases, but someone who can stand her ground, stand on business when things get real? Think about it. When Charlotte tried to rattle her, tried to bury her on live TV on SmackDown, Tiffany did not fold. She fired back and she proved that she belongs. That kind of poise under pressure isn't easy, and a win at WrestleMania would cement her as the woman in the division. But on the other hand, should Charlotte Flair win the title and add another reign to her already stacked resume? Honestly, I could totally see WWE going that route. She's got heat, she's got buzz, and right now, Charlotte Flair might just be the biggest villain in the women's division. A win would give WWE a perfect chance to pit her against a lineup of hungry babyfaces. Maybe even pull out some dream matches that we haven't seen in a while. But if you ask me, I think the best story is Charlotte winning at WrestleMania. Just hear me out. Yes, let her take that title, let her walk around with that smug grin and remind everyone that she's still the queen. And then that's when you build the rise and the redemption arc of Tiffany. Let Stratton earn her way back up. No Money in the Bank shortcut this time, no golden ticket. Just hard work, gritty wins, and a slow burn redemption arc. Until finally, she beats Charlotte clean on her terms with no gimmicks, no nonsense, just a statement. The princess takes the crown from the queen. That is the kind of long-term story that will elevate both women, and if WWE plays this right, we might be watching the birth of the next cornerstone of this division. Just to go back to my original point of the video, you see, we wouldn't even be having this conversation if it wasn't for the real promo that they delivered. Nobody would be debating winners and losers. Nobody would be emotionally invested in this feud. It would have been just another filler title match at WrestleMania. But now this story is on fire. It has tension, it feels real, and in pro wrestling, that is where the magic happens. Look, like I said earlier, was it going off script unprofessional? Yes, probably. But at the end of the day, both women did what you're supposed to do in this business, and that's get people talking, and that's to make us care. They threw fuel on a match that was ice cold, and for that, I gotta give props to both Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. They made this feud matter, and now we're all watching. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next video.